We have extremely surprising news out of Dallas. Head coach Jim Montgomery has been relieved of his duties. We'll tell you what we know coming up next. So welcome back here to Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some very unexpected and surprising news out of the Dallas Stars organization this morning. The Dallas Stars have fired head coach Jim Montgomery. Now, this here is the statement that the team put out earlier. This appears to have nothing to do with his on-ice coaching abilities or how the team has performed. This is a case of him being fired due to unprofessionalism. Now, Dallas Stars general manager Jim Nill just completed a press conference before I filmed this video. He wasn't really able to offer a whole lot of information. We do know a few things. They kind of ruled out some things, but clearly in these situations, just like we saw in other situations with other coaches, a lot of details are not really going to be diverged from the team, probably due to legal reasons and potential lawsuits that could come afterwards. Now, we do know that whatever this incident was of unprofessionalism that happened while he was head coach of the Dallas Stars, we also know that it happened very recently. Dallas Stars GM Jim Nill said he found out about this on Sunday, then began an investigation and decided as of this morning that Montgomery was being fired. So he did say that this incident that took place, the unprofessionalism, whatever it was, happened within a matter of a few days before he found out, and we know that he found out via a phone call, but from who, we have no idea. So that caller will remain anonymous to the general public here, but we do know that it had nothing to do with a current or former player. They also said the fact that it had nothing to do with like a racism issue or anything like that. Obviously, Gary Bettman just last night was announcing some new policies and new things being put forth by the NHL. We know to kind of handle a lot of these, player abuse situations and coaching, like the 4-point plan that he put out, which will allow NHL players and coaches to kind of be protected and have a way for these things to be reported. Teams are required and obligated to report these things to the league. And there's like a whole new set of policies coming through here to kind of hope, kind of curb a lot of this type of behavior in situations that may arise in the future. There was some talk that maybe the Dallas Stars were kind of feeling pressure by this new policy coming through and made the move, but that doesn't really appear to be the case based on what Jim Nill had to say in his press conference. It sounds like this all just kind of came to be. The timing of Bettman's announcement last night and the firing happening this morning seems to be pretty much coincidental. I know we've seen NHL insiders like Elliot Friedman and Darren Dreger putting out on Twitter that they had asked at the Board of Governors meeting last night about if there was any other coaches that were being investigated or anything else that was, kind of underway that we could see implemented here with these new policies that they were discussing, and they were told no, that there wasn't anything. So clearly this seems to be something that very likely happened outside of hockey, even maybe something in his personal life. It's really kind of vague. We really don't know, but like I said, with all the things that we've ruled out here, it's really difficult to say what happened. I know that people want to know, and that's really, unfortunately, all we do know, and it's probably unlikely that we ever find out anything more. It's really hard to say at this point in time. As we know, things have to be done a certain way from a legality point of view. And I'm sure that Jim Nill's statement, as well as what he was briefed and what he was able to say, was, very much approved and discussed through the team lawyers and league lawyers as well. So I guess we'll see if we ever know anything more. But Jim Montgomery is out after about 1.5 years on the job. He has 2 more years on his contract. The Stars, even though they started really slow, we're off to a really solid run here lately. 16-4-2 in their last 22 games. Things were going much better, much better position to become a playoff team this year. So certainly had nothing to do with his ability as a coach and the on-ice performance of the team. Now, longtime coach Rick Bowness will take over as head coach. He has a very, very long resume of being a head coach as well as an assistant coach in the NHL. So he will become the interim head coach. Jim Nill did indicate that the current new coaching setup will remain in place for the remainder of the season. They've promoted Derek Laxdal, who's the head coach of the Texas Stars in the American Hockey League. He's had a ton of success down there, certainly deserving of an opportunity. So he'll come up as an assistant coach as well. And then, of course, one of their assistants in Texas is taking over as head coach down there. And then they're going to hire a new assistant to help out down at that level. So clearly the Dallas Stars thankfully have a lot of people in-house here that have a lot of experience and can kind of take over at the helm and kind of keep things going along. It's a Dallas Stars game day as well. We don't usually see a coach being fired on the day of a game. That's usually something that's, when a team has a break so that the new coach can have time to take over and whatnot. That's just a bizarre and odd situation. It's not something we really ever see coming, because obviously coaches are typically fired for their performance, not for other types of issues, which I guess like I said, this whole movement going on through the NHL right now, there's clearly teams are more sensitive to these types of situations and are acting quickly should something come up. Obviously, he was asked as well, Jim Nill, about the reaction of Jim Montgomery. All he would say is that he was very disappointed, which really, the guy was fired. Of course, I'd expect him to be disappointed. He himself was disappointed. He said he was a great coach, but he really wouldn't elaborate any further. So there's lots of vagueness, lots of lawyer speak, lots of confusion, but at the end of the day, Montgomery is out. Unprofessional behavior, what it will be or what those details are, we really don't know, but it happened relatively recently. They found out on the weekend, and now he's gone. So let me know your reaction down in the comments. This is going to be obviously the hot topic of the day. We can discuss further, and we'll see if we get any more information. There will be information in the pinned comment down below. Check that out. If there is any more details released, I will add the information there so you can see that as well. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, turning on your notifications so you don't miss any future content, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.